Hello. Hi guys, happy Monday. Trust that everyone is well. Trust that you all had an excellent weekend. Trust that you were able to rest, rejuvenate, reset. You all know this usual speech, the usual greeting, the usual welcome. I trust that you all would have gotten some time to do some self-care. Trust that you would have gotten some time to check in with yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Today, I have been asked to speak at Bethel's Christian Assembly. I spoke to their ladies today. This recording obviously is not today. It's pre-recorded, but I wanted to share it with you all. So I would be speaking with their ladies, and you will get the opportunity to share in the food that they would have received from the trust of God. I trust that it will be a blessing. It will encourage, it will motivate, it will challenge us as women to influence and impact those in our sphere, those that we come into contact with, those that pass along our way. That our faith would be loud, that somebody would be able to celebrate our loud faith and use that as a guide as to how we can trust God and how big we can trust our God. The title of the topic for their event is Unsung Heroines, female heroes. And I just trust that it will be a blessing to you. Pick up whatever gems, nuggets, nuts like a squirrel, nuts, and pack away for when you need it. It may not be this very moment, but you might need it down the road or know somebody else who needs it. So feel to share with the females. It was a ladies only event. So feel free to share with somebody that might need to hear about an unsung nameless lady that had really loud faith. That was the lasting impression that I got from all of them. Their faith was loud. So enjoy. Like I said, I hope it's a blessing. And enjoy. So we're about to start. Obviously, well, you all know I wouldn't be looking at you directly. I will be looking at them. So,
Because she's no stranger. And I know she can tell you more, you understand? Because she has her YouTube channel too. She speaks to women. She's a wonderful minister, Miss Melina De Silva, who is going to share about some women in the Bible that isn't always talked about, but were significant, just like everybody else. They were significant in being written into the Bible. Miss Melina De Silva, good night.
Good night. Thank you so much, Sister Corinne. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Queens. Good evening, Bethel Christian Assembly. It is a pleasure to be back with you all again. I just want to say good night to you all. I hope everybody is good. I ain't seen no faces today like the last time. But I'm sure some of the ladies from the last time are still here. So I greet you. I greet you all from my church. Some of my ladies are here. So happy to have you all with me, supporting me tonight. I want to greet Pastor Merle. I think I saw her name pop up. If she is here still, good night to you, Pastor Merle. I also want to bring you greetings from my Bishop Hayden Williams. His wife is with me as well. Sister Arlene is here, and I bring you greetings from my community. So tonight we are discussing, we're going to have a little chit chat about some unsung heroines, some women in the Bible that we don't even have their names. We don't know if it's a Susan, if it's a Maria, if it's a Avril. We don't know if it's a Melissa, if it's a Delacey. We don't know. We don't have these ladies' names, but we're going to talk about them and highlight some things that made an impression on me. I looked up the word unsung and it said nameless, and I said to myself, well, they're really unsung in truth because none of them have names. Unnamed, unrecognized, unpraised, forgotten, someone who is not celebrated or praised. And then I looked at heroine, and it said, as a woman admired for her courage, outstanding achievements, or noble, things that were noble, admirable about her, and one who did something brave or good. So there's the qualifications that we're looking for in these ladies. One of my watchwords for 2022 is impact and influence. And I looked at these women and I said to myself, they had a great impact and influence without probably even, well, they have it on us because we have their story. And at that time, I don't know if they knew how much impact and influence their faith and how they lived their life impacted those around them. So the first lady that we're going to look at is in 2 Kings chapter 4 verses 1 to 7. Like I said, this lady have no name. The verse starts off by saying, the wife of a man. That's the name we're going with. She was the wife of a man. We don't have the husband name, but we definitely don't have her name. So we know she was a wife. So chapter 4 verse 1 says, the wife of a man from the company of the prophets cried out to Elisha, your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that he revered the Lord. But now his creditor is coming to take my 2 boys as his slaves. Elisha replied to her, how can I help you? Tell me, what do you have in your house? Your servant has nothing at all, she said, except a small jar of olive oil. Elisha said, go around and ask all your neighbors for empty jars. Don't ask for just a few. Then go inside and shut the door behind you and your sons. Pour oil into all the jars, and as each is filled, put it to one side. She left him and shut the door behind her and her sons. They brought the jars to her, and she kept pouring. When all the jars were full, she said to her son, bring me another one. But he replied, there is not another jar left. Then the oil stopped flowing. She went and told the man of God, and he said, go, sell the oil and pay your debts. You and your sons can live on what is left. So now, this woman, she's a widow. Her husband is no longer with her. She in debt. The people that she owes, clearly she owes them a lot for the payment to be the worth of 2 children. It had to be that your husband left you in great debt for you to just have, for the worth of that debt to be your 2 sons. She's at risk of losing her 2 children, the potential breadwinners for her house. Clearly she's not working. And to me, this is a crisis. You are a widow. We don't know if she has family around, and the closest people to your family, somebody come in and want to take that. What you have left, to take what you have left from you. So Elisha, she went and she cried to Elisha, because there's a problem. I can't afford to lose my 2 children. I mean, if I have 2 sons, somebody come and tell me they're coming and take Micaiah and Joshua from me, we have problems. That's a big problem. So she went to Elijah. I don't know what to do. There's my situation. And Elijah asked her, what do you have? In her mind, she considered what she had, the little that she had, and clearly it wasn't a lot, because all the Bible said is that she named this one little bottle of olive oil. And she said to Elijah, all I have nothing except this small bottle of oil. And Elijah told her, go and borrow from your neighbors large, not just small, not just a few, large containers, and bring it back. Bring it back to your house. So she went out, the sons went out, and I guess they went and begged. I mean, that requires you to put all shame aside, all pride aside, and to just be obedient to what this man of God coming now to tell you. Just go. I tell you, all I have is a little bit of oil, and you sending me to beg for empty jars. Given the crisis she was in, she didn't even bother to argue. She just went and she get the empty jars, and she came back. So I want to put in little points as we go along. Sometimes you might think that your little thing I could make tell somebody on this chat, this Zoom tonight that could make a boss sweetbread. And you might think, all I can make, it's just, I could make real good sweetbread. It have a next one, she could make a real boss sucker bag. And you might think to yourself, well, it's just sucker bags, or you could just make sucker bags. You don't know what your little, the thing that you call it, well, it's just this little thing. How God could use that little thing to save you and your household. That woman started a whole business with a little bottle of oil. The Bible says that she went and she sold it. And she had enough to clear all of her debts. Which means you were able to save your son. So that huge debt that was equivalent to 2 children, she was able to save her household and still have enough to... the Bible didn't just say, and wherever you have, keep the rest. No, the Bible said you had enough to live on what is left. To me, right now, people who living on things is either their gratuity, they plenty money, or some big investment that they make, they real plenty money, or some pension plan that you could know it means that she had enough to live, enough for you to live, enough for your children to live, and for no creditor to have to come and bother you again. I just want to say tonight, if it's sweetbread, sell it. If it's sucker bag, sell it. If you could make a good fudge, don't consider that to be something insignificant and everybody coming by you for your corn soup. Anytime they have a gathering, so you can make a corn soup. I really love your corn soup. They always want your corn soup. Sell your corn soup, sell your sweetbread, sell your sucker bag. Make jam and sell it. Make nut butters and sell it, because that little that you have would be able, you don't know what God could do with that. And that woman faith was so loud, she did not even question. She just tell herself, whatever this man tell me, going and work, and I'm going and do it. This going and work out, and I'm going ahead, because this going and work out. And the woman pour until she couldn't pour, until she had no more. To me, if they had more bottles, more empty vessels, more oil would have flowed. But they didn't have no more vessels. I just want to encourage us that by the life of this woman here, have faith loud enough that even if I start my product business with $150 an hour, I made 5 bottles of oils at first, and 3 jars of Twister Balms. With $150, I spent that little bit of money and bought the ingredients, made those, sold all in the same week. I took all the money and I bought more oils to make my organic oils and more butters to make more butters. Sold all of that. And now I have several other products, and it started with $150. And you might think to yourself, but I only have $100, I can't start a business. I could only make sweetbread, I could only make fudge. Make it, put it in a bag. There's another lady on this platform here. I'm going to talk my church people business. Another lady on a platform here, she sells nut butters. If you look up Letty's Nut Butters on Instagram, call me for you want to order. She's make almond butter, peanut butter, and cashew butter, natural, all natural, no preservatives, nothing. It is the best thing you could spread on a toasted slice of bread. You know what I say? And if you add it to a smoothie, nobody ain't want nothing with you. And that was she make a few jars first, and then she started taking orders. I am saying, if it's a small, whatever your small, you thinking that might be small, just remind God, Father, this woman only had olive oil. Olive oil is olive oil. We just been rubbing we skin with that, putting that in here, cooking, frying fish with olive oil. This woman started a business with olive oil, cleared all her debts with olive oil. I'm encouraging us. Yeah, so whatever your small thing is, I don't care how small you think that is, entrust it to God and trust that He can multiply that and make that into, you working somewhere, slice up your sweetbread and carry it to work, package it nice, and put it on a tray, tell them $7 a slice. Right where you're working, nobody had to know. You're working somewhere, you know somebody else selling it, go and tell them, sister so-and-so, I want to carry 5 of your nut butters to work. and you don't know how far that will go. All you need is one person, one person. That lady spoke to the right person. All you need, and she showed her sons. If their names was Joshua and Micaiah, all you need is a God idea. Somebody to give you an idea that will manifest into a business, and you don't know. Just one good thought, one good idea. I had a sewing machine. And when I got pregnant with my fourth daughter, I tell myself, this was a surprise, and I'm not going to spend no money on maternity clothes. I done give away crib, I give away playpen, everything done give away. I'm going to buy a small machine, and I will make everything with stretch cloth. I'm going to make it because I'm not going to buy no maternity clothes to put on when I'm done, because I'm not coming back here again. And I bought a sewing machine. Baby come, baby born, baby get big, sewing machine lying down there. A good friend of mine said to me, why you don't make bonnets? Bonnets turn to pillowcases, pillowcase turn to scrunchies, scrunchies turn to headbands, and now I have accessories as part of the things that I sell at my spa. I am saying, you just need one person to, when somebody give you a poke in your side, poke you in your side with the right comment, with the right idea, just to say, hey, what you think about, you should try so and so. You should try this or you should try that. I am just saying, do not minimize or think insignificant that talent or that little thing, that it could be tulum. And your tulum more tasty than the one that Paula's selling. Sell your tulum. Sell your tulum. The next lady I want us to look at, she's in chapter 8. The lady had no name. No name whatsoever. At least they put a little something on a little something. They turn around and say it's a prominent woman. They give she a little something. Still no name, but we know she prominent. Chapter 4 verse 8. One day Elisha went to Shunem, and a well-to-do woman was there. So a prominent woman was there, who urged him to stay for a while. So whenever he came by, he stopped there to eat. She said to her husband, I know that this man who often comes our way is a holy man of God. Let us make a small room on the rooftop and put in it a bed and a table, a chair and a lamp for him. Then he can stay there whenever he comes to us. This lady went and told her husband, this man who does pass by the house all the time when he passing to go wherever, let we put on a room. It's a whole studio apartment. The lady went and built. All I know the price of bricks and cement raised the other day. Home girl went and told she husband, let us not just add on a room to the back of the house, on top. The man was living upstairs is where she put the man. And furnish the room with bed, with table, with lamp. A stranger. This woman just decided, not only are we going to give him a sandwich when he pass, we're going to put on a room so he could come and rest his head here and then carry on his way. What going on with this lady? I don't know who we can't do that in this time. One time your husband tried to ask you, you must take me for a fool or what? Who's this man? Who is this man you want to come and live in my house? My girl built a whole room, convinced her husband to build a room and furnish it for a man none of them is familiar with, a total stranger. Verse 11 says, one day when Elisha came, he went up to his room and lay down there. He said to his servant Gehazi, so it wasn't Elijah alone, was Elijah and company. This woman built a room on top she husband's house for 2 men. Not the man and the wife, for 2 men. To me, that bacchanal. In Trinidad and Tobago, that is bacchanal. That thing for TV6, that is just bacchanal. Verse 12 says, he said to his servant, call the Shunammite. So he called her and she stood before him. Elisha said to him, tell her, you have gone to all this trouble for us. Now, what can be done for you? Can we speak on your behalf to the king or the commander of the army? Could we talk to Her Excellency Paula May Weeks? Can we speak to the Dr. Honorable Keith Rowley on your behalf? Could we speak to the one who is in charge of the army. Could we talk to Minister Fitzgerald Hines on your behalf? I'm bringing it home to us. Homegirl's response is, she replied, I have a home among my own people. Nah, good. It's okay. The man asked you if I could mention your name before the king, before Ptolemy weeks. People with influence that could do something to change your life. My girl said, nah, no thanks. She good. Verse 14 says, what can be done for her? Elijah asked. Gehazi said, she has no son and her husband is old. Them start to talk as if the woman leave the room. They having their own conversation. Given that she don't want to tell us what it is we could do for her, Elijah started to talk to Gehazi. Gehazi volunteered the woman personal information. Oh, she don't know children. Then Elisha said, call her. So he called her and she stood in the doorway. About this time next year, this is Elisha. Nobody asked the woman nothing after she done tell them, I good? No questions was posed to the lady after that. You just decide. Well, you can decide, this what I'm giving you. About this time next year, Elijah said, you will hold a son in your arms. No, my Lord. The woman, but don't talk stupidness. Don't do me that. Don't play with my emotions. No, my Lord. She objected. Please, man of God, don't mislead your servant. Do not play with my emotions. But the woman became pregnant, and the next year, about that same time, she gave birth to a son, just as Elisha had told her. The child grew, and one day he went out to his father, who was with the reapers. So I am assuming, if this child could go out by himself, I have a 4-year-old, I'm not selling her out in no field with no reapers, so the child must be older than 4. Let me say 7. Let me start with 7. I mightn't send you out, but let me say 7. The child grew, and one day he went out to his father, verse 18, who was with the reapers. He said to his father, my head, my head. His father told the servant, carry him to his mother. How familiar is that? Those of us with children, all you know that's the first thing. Go and tell your mother. You're feeling sick? Go and tell your mother what happened to you. They just automatically send them by the nurse. After the sermon had lifted, just now, verse 19 said, and he said to his father, my head, my head. His father told his servant, carry him to his mother. Verse 20 says, after the servant had lifted him up and carried him to his mother, the boy sat on her lap until noon, and then he died. She went up. Now, will you pay attention to the calmness in calamity with this woman? Pay attention of how this woman harnessed herself in the midst of what is a disaster. Or you should be bawling by now. Your child just die in your hands. Check my girl. She went up and laid him on the bed of the man of God, then shut the door and went out. You carry the child upstairs, rest him down on the prophet's bed, and close the door behind you, and you walk out. You ain't tell the servant to bring him nothing. You ain't bawl out to your husband. You ain't raise no alarm. Calamity is brewing, and you silent. She went up and laid him, verse 21, laid him on the bed of the man of God, and then shut the door and went out. Verse 22 said, she called her husband and said, I looking to see our son is dead. My girl said, please send me one of the servants on a donkey so I can go to the man of God quickly and return. You ain't mention what is going on. You ain't say nothing. You silent. My girl calm and she little bit of calamity that going on here. Crisis. You quiet and you not talking about it. Verse 23 said, why go to him today? This is the husband asking, where went on ever? He asked, it is not the new moon or the Sabbath, so it's not the normal time that she would have normally gone. This is strange. This is not this not on the schedule. She said, that's all right. Well, I read this thing over and over and I said, but no, something is wrong with this lady. My girl said, no, that's all right. Verse 24 says, she saddled the donkey and said to her servant, lead on, do not slow down, for me unless I tell you. So mash gas in that car and don't stop until I tell you. Verse 25 says, so she set out and came to the man of God at Mount Carmel. When he saw her in the distance, the man of God said to his servant Gehazi, look, there's the Shunammite. Run to meet her and ask her, are you all right? Is your husband all right? And is your child all right? Before we reach there, while I went on a Google, I wanted to see it on a Google map. What is the distance from Shunem to Mount Carmel? Google tell me it's 55 minutes of driving. Bear in mind is a donkey she hop onto it. 3 hours and 1 minute by a bus, by Maxi. 3 hours and 6 minutes by a bicycle. 9 hours and 9 minutes by foot, and all of this is one way. This is not both ways. And remember earlier we read she left noon. Noon the child left. Noon the child died. Add on a little 10 minutes. She had to walk up, leave the field, wherever the field is, walk up to the house, walk upstairs, close the door, change the clothes, went back and tell the servant get the donkey. So we thinking there's about 12:30 earliest. So my girl is leaving 12:30 by donkey. I am assuming to add 3 hours on the bicycle time, which is 3 hours and 6 minutes. Add 3 hours to that because it's by donkey. Let me just assume. So that means 12:30 and 6 hours extra. That night time. This is evening time. You leave to go to there. So that means if she left, and by the way, my girl leaving on a donkey, or you know the animal stubborn. So part of the way, if you ride in the donkey hard, remember she tell the man, don't slow down until I tell you. That donkey go want to stop for water at a point in time, and don't play it or feeding it on the way, because the mule go get you trouble and you're in a hurry, you want to eat. So you have to stop in the midst of that to feed the donkey. And my girl, on her way to meet Elisha, with the presence of mind to answer and say, in the ending of verse 26, after Gehazi, Elisha spot her and send Gehazi to find out if the husband good, if she good, and if the child good. You will respond and say, after you make that trek, everything is all right? All is well? All is well. Woman, you leave a dead child on a bed upstairs. Your response in that, all is well. Verse 27 says, when she reached the man of God at the mountain, she took hold of his feet. Gehazi came over to push her away, but the man of God said, leave her alone. She is in bitter distress. But the Lord has hidden it from me and has not told me why. Well, there's where she decided, now I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. In the first place, I didn't ask you for no child. Verse 28 says, did I ask you for a son, my Lord? Who asked? I did not ask you for a son. Did I ask you for a son? She said, didn't I tell you, do not raise my hopes? My girl, wherever she had pent up and tried to keep calm, well, boy, she let Elijah have it. Verse 29 said, Elijah said to Gehazi, tuck your clothes into your belt. This is going to be a long ride. And you have to do this quick, so tighten your belt in your pants. Tuck in your shirt. Take my staff in your hand and run. Now, Olia, the woman came by donkey. You send the man by foot. Olia, remember I tell Olia by foot is 9 hours and 9 minutes. 9 hours and 9 minutes. You are sending a man running from Mount Carmel back to Shunem to deal with the situation by foot. So she reached there by the time she done explain and she done buff Elisha, because I didn't ask you for this child I get me here. And by the time Elisha went and tell Gehazi what to do, 9 hours added to the 6 hours since 12:30 noon. This is in the night. You are sending a man running in the night. 9 hours in the night. You sending this man. Don't greet anyone you meet. So don't talk to nobody. No highs, no, don't stop to tell no, hey, partner, where's this? Don't ask nobody, nothing, don't greet nobody. And if anybody greets you, do not answer. So don't stand up for no small talk. Lay my staff on the boy's face. And lay my staff on the boy's face. Verse 30 says, but the child's mother said, as surely as the Lord lives and as you live, I will not leave you. You're muted, Corinne.
Sister Claudia, your mic is on.
So verse 30, my girl made it very clear to Elijah. I understand, I understand you send Gehazi with your staff, but letting you know, as you live, and as surely as I'm not living here without you, both are we going and make that trek back to my child in the room that I built for you. So she was good and well. She had no problem. You sending Gehazi problem, Gehazi running, no problem. But you coming with me. Gehazi went on ahead and laid the staff on the boy's face, but there was no sound or response. So Gehazi went back to meet Elijah. Only, what is going on here? These people getting on as if they live in a corner away from each other. It's hours and then back and forth. Gehazi leave Shunem now and heading back to Mount Carmel to tell Elisha where tell me to do a work. So Gehazi went back to meet Elijah and told them the boy has not awakened. When Elijah reached the house, so let's just bear in mind the hours that taking place here. Rigor mortis done started kicking, and my girl is relentless, and she, in her mind, all is well. This is what my girl leaves her husband, and she tell him all is well. Everything is all right. Meet Gehazi on the way, everything is all right, all is well. And this is the mind frame that she is working with. I coming back with you, and everything will be all right. So Gehazi said the boy has not awakened. Verse 32 says, when Elisha reached the house, there was the boy lying dead on his couch. He went in, shut the door on the two of them, and prayed to the Lord. Then he got on the bed and lay on the boy, mouth to mouth, eyes to eyes, hands to hands, as he stretched himself out on him. The boy's body grew warm. Elisha turned away and walked back and forth in the room, and then got on the bed and stretched out on him once more. The boy sneezed 7 times. Well, clearly there's no COVID, because by the time you sneeze once, twice, people don't start to watch you funny already. He sneezed 7 times and opened his eyes. Elisha summoned Gehazi and said, call the Shunammite. Up to now, the man didn't even say, call Sarah, call Avril, call Maria. He still calling, call the Shunammite. Call the Shunammite. And he did. When she came, he said, take your son. She came in, fell at his feet, and bowed to the ground. Then she took her son and went out. I just want to highlight this woman's loud faith. This woman did not speak negatively concerning the situation that she was in. She did not raise an alarm. Sometimes, you bounce your toe and everybody has to, oh God, you're balling out, oh God, because you bounce your toe. Everybody in the house, one tear. My girl's son died. Not a word. Nobody knew what was taking place until she reached to the person that she had to talk to. And sometimes you might be in a situation where you telling yourself like the Shunammite woman, Gehazi, I understand, your pastor might come, Sister Gardner might come and tell you, hey, what's going on? And you might not want to even talk to pastor to tell her what the situation is. All you want to do, I go in directly to the source that could fix this problem. Clearly, she would have known Elisha had a track record. It's the same with us. We know Jesus' track record and we know the things that he's capable of. And so, if this seems to be impossible, a dead situation, I know we're talking to mother. Sister Corinne, you said you are not a mother. I'm not sure if you're married or not. If you are, and you trust in God to make you a mother, or you're not married and you're trusting God to give you the husband so that you could do the necessary connections so that you can get to there. Trust God that this impossible situation, I will not speak negatively concerning it. My womb is fruitful. My business is fruitful. My marriage is beautiful. It is loving. We share a loving relationship. Ensure that you don't speak negatively concerning your situation. You're in debt. You don't have to publicize and continue. Oh God, I'm so broke. What are you saying? All is well. This is the woman's response. Everything is all right. Everything. There's a lady I know. She's a hairdresser too. Every time I ask the lady, so girl, how you doing? All is well. I say, or anytime you ask her what happened, all is well. And you can find out this horrible situation happened and you come in to find out genuinely, hey girl, what's going on? Her response is always, all is well. I want to encourage us to be mindful of how we use our words. Be mindful of how the life that you're speaking to your situations, despite your husband could be given the most hell. Don't turn around about this good for nothing wicked man. I don't know why God don't deal with him now. Don't use your words. Use your words. Use your words, Father God. I pray that this man of God, this gem that you have given to me, God, you know your desires concerning him. You know your plans and your purpose for his life. Father, help me to love him right. Help me to serve him better. Don't give the wrong title. All is well. How things in your marriage? All is well. All is well. And you might get some resistance. Somebody might turn around and because they know your business, girl, why you fooling yourself? Gehazi wanted to prevent the woman from going to Elisha, you know. People might give you static. But maintain. I'm going to God on this. And God, I am going to maintain that all is well until you say otherwise. All is well. This is my situation until God say otherwise. So I just want us to be mindful of that. Another thing I want us to be mindful of. This woman's generosity. Her giving. The woman started off with a sandwich, convinced her husband to build a whole studio apartment for this man and furnish it. That put that woman in place for a blessing that she didn't even ask for. That woman did not ask for a son. But her giving, her generosity to a total stranger, positioned that woman for a blessing that she didn't even have to ask. In fact, she disqualified herself. Because she turned around and she tell Elisha, oh God, come, don't play with me now. My husband done old. She done disqualify herself that this can happen to me. And her generosity positioned her for her blessing. Another thing I want us to understand is that sometimes things happen, Sometimes it's devastating things. You can't even make sense of what it is taking place. But ask God, Lord, help me to stay calm. This is a lot for me, but I need you to help me to stay calm. Lord, give me peace in the midst of the storm. Help me to keep a level head, to steady myself. Help me, Lord God, to not lose it. When situations just blowing all over the place, storms hitting me left, right, and center. As soon as I get over something else come. Help me to stay calm in calamity. That woman's posture in the midst of a devastating situation, I cannot imagine. My child died in my lap, and that's my disposition. All is well. You ain't raise an alarm up to now that this took place. Now, this is not all we could learn from this precious soul. In chapter 8, this Shunammite woman, because of her generosity, now remember Elisha back and forth, going here, there, he leave. We know for sure he went to Mount Carmel, so he does be going to different places. Before we get to chapter 8, Naaman get healed. He feed 100 men. What else he do? What is not two things this man do before he come back to this lady in chapter 8. So he was a busy man doing things all over the place. In chapter 8, God gave Elisha a word about a famine, an impending famine that was to come. He went and he decided, this woman has been good to me and my servant. I'm going to tell this lady, get out from here, because this is what's happening. Chapter 8 verse 1 says, now Elisha had said to the woman whose son he had restored to life, go away with your family and stay for a while wherever you can, because the Lord has decreed a famine in the land that will last 7 years. The woman proceeded to do as the man of God said. She and her family went away and stayed in the land of the Philistines 7 years. At the end of the 7 years, she came back from the land of the Philistines and went to appeal to the king for her house and for her land. The king was talking to Gehazi. Now remember, Gehazi was present from beginning to end. Gehazi know about this woman who was giving me and the prophet food. The woman moved from that, she built a room for us. The woman, Elisha prophesied to this woman and gave her a son, and the son died. Elisha, this woman's love faith, brought her son back to life, and Gehazi has full knowledge of this. So Gehazi now, the king talking to this said Gehazi. Verse 4 says, the king was talking to Gehazi, the servant of the man of God, and had said, tell me all the great things Elisha has done. So Gehazi he was telling him, well, he do this for Naaman, he healed the stew, he find back the axe head that fall in the water, he make that float like a feather. He probably tell him, well, Naaman was leprous, and the man had leprosy, and Elisha healed that too. So he's giving him all the stories, all the tea on Elisha. And then he came to the Shunammite woman, and he was telling her about the Shunammite woman. Verse 4 says, the king was talking to Gehazi, the servant of the man of God, and had said, tell me about all the great things Elisha has done. Verse 5 says, just as Gehazi was telling the king how Elisha had restored the dead to life, the woman whose son Elisha had brought back to life came to appeal to the king for her house and her land. Gehazi said, this is the woman, my lord the king, and this is her son who Elisha restored. Well, you gonna live long. If this is what I was talking about, when you're walking and people talking about it, well, you gonna live long. That was Gehazi when the Shunammite woman walked inside the king's palace to address the king, to petition for her land and her house that she left for 7 years. Now, well, you know in Trinidad, you leave a house and land vacant. Squatters ain't even asking. Them fencing around your place as if it's theirs. And they moving in. And in Trinidad, gracious, beautiful Trinidad, we have squatters' rights. So my girl must he come back from by the Philistines and realize, wait now, but somebody moving and take my husband's place. Take house, take land, but I need to get this back. And she decided she going and appeal to the king. Lo and behold, her name, because of her generosity, because of her love faith, her name reached in the king's palace before she even reached there. There's a verse in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 16 that says, a man's gift will make room for him and bring him before great men. That gift, that word gift there, is a man's giving. The Hebrew word there, it translates giving, present, or offering. So your giving will make room for you and bring you before great king. That woman's giving, all that she would have done, all that she did was lodged in the memory of Gehazi. And he remembered to tell this woman, to tell the king about this woman. So that woman, she lived out that proverb right there. Her gift, her giving, brought her before great men. And that woman name, her story already got to the king. So by the time she reached into the king now to come and explain, well, I am a Shunammite woman, I'm from Shunem, the prominent wife of so and so and so and so. I have a son. By the time she come in to give her story and to explain that why this house is mine and I need to get it back, Gehazi done go on before the woman and explaining this is who she is. So by the time she get, the king don't know who it is. So verse 5 says, Gehazi, just as Gehazi was telling the king how Elisha had restored the dead to life, the woman whose son Elisha brought back to life came to appeal to the king for her house and land. Gehazi said, this is the woman, my lord king, and this is her son, whom Elisha restored to life. The king asked the woman about it and she told him. Then he assigned an official to her case. My boy organized a big lawyer. He assigned an official to her case to give and said, give back everything. Not some things, not just the land. Give back everything that belonged to her, including all the income from the land from the day she left the country until now. So you did not even work your land. Remember, the son went out to meet the father in the field. So clearly they used to harvest things. So whoever was squatting in her land, selling the produce and getting income from it, the king said, give her back the house and the land, and give her back all the money that she was supposed to get from the sales of her produce. Give her back all that. All here. If I were us here, I would organize in my wallet, a section and just entitle it giving. You ain't have no name, you don't know who it for. In this woman's case, it was a total stranger. And organize in your wallet. I just put aside $10 in, make sure I have $10 in my wallet when I go into the MP gas station, just in case one of the attendants come and pump gas to me. It could be my last $10. I just make sure I have it to give to them. Organize in your wallet. I'm going to give this amount this month, and perchance somebody else come and they need it and it passed the quota of the amount that you want to give anyway. You don't know what you're giving, where your name will reach. That's not the purpose that you're doing it for. And remember, the woman turned around and said, she good. I am among my people, she don't need nothing. She did not want anything for her generosity. But just because of her generosity, her name went before the king and she got back not only what she was going to petition for, but that and more. That's what that woman's giving did for her. And be kind, let your kindness be loud, let your faith be loud. You don't know how effective that could be in your future. If you check the timeline, 7 years, remember the boy was done a boy already. The Bible said the servant brought her son and rested him in her lap. I have a 13-year-old. I not letting Micaiah sit down in my lap with his tall self. So I'm thinking he's not 13. My 11-year-old, my gably. So let me say 11. Plus all the time between that Elisha would have done things. Come back to the 7 years where that had the famine. He was at least 18 years. 18 years later, you're giving still talking? 18 years later, that woman's giving, her generosity spoke for her 18 years down the road. You don't know what your generosity, what your kindness, what your impact, your influence on somebody's life, how that would speak years from now. I want to encourage us, like this no-name, nameless, prominent woman. Let your faith be loud. Know how to use your words. Speak positively even if the situation is negative. Don't allow the circumstance and the situation to change your faith. That woman's faith did not waver, and in fact she had bold faith. She went back and she told the man, I didn't ask for this and I'm not leaving here without you. Her faith was bold and her giving was loud also. I just want to encourage us to allow these things to speak and to minister to us and I want to highlight the fact too that these things took place in the first woman, in the presence of the woman's first two sons, that first lady, and in the presence of her son. He was able to see, wow, my mother's generosity, my mother's faith. This is how my mother's life has impacted individuals. You don't know how what your life could preach to somebody. So make sure you're living a life. The word of God said to be imitators of God. Be an imitator of Christ, so that the Christ that you show forth, the faith, the giving, the patience, the kindness, the long suffering that you show could be a testimony, not now, but probably 18 years down the road. The next lady I want us to look at is in Matthew chapter 15 from verse 21 to 28. Another lady, no name. Matthew says a certain lady. So we know one was a wife and a widow. The next one was a prominent woman that had no children in the beginning. And this one is just a certain lady. This random lady. We do nothing. We no description, no nothing. We don't know if she have a husband, nothing. This certain lady. Matthew 15 from verse 21 to 28. Verse 21 says, leaving that place, so he was someplace before, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. A Canaanite woman and from that vicinity came to him. So we ain't too sure. We know she's a Canaanite woman and she was in the vicinity. She came to him crying out, Lord, Son of David. Clearly she knew who he was or would have heard about him. So she addressed the person that she heard about. This had to be the man that I hear about. She cried out, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is demon-possessed and suffering terribly. All yeah? This one hit me in my chest, huh? Jesus did not answer a word. Jesus ignored the lady. Jesus ignored the lady. The woman addressed him to me. She addressed him properly. Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. You explain what you mean. My daughter is demon-possessed and suffering terribly. Jesus did not answer a word. So his disciples came to him and urged him, send her away. Where this man does come out? Gehazi wanted to send away the Shunammite woman when she reached Elisha. Now the disciples want to send this woman away. So we can't come? We're not allowed? Send her away, for she keeps crying out after us. I didn't hear she called their name. She called Jesus. But like the call and the cry she was crying was irritating them. Them asking him, just send her away. Send her away. She keep crying after us. He answered, I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel. Insult number 2. 1, you ignore me. 2, you're letting me know, lady, I didn't come to you. I did not come here. I didn't come to you. Verse 25 said the woman came and knelt before him. Well, if you want to hear me, you will see me. The woman came and knelt before him. Lord, help me, she said. He replied, it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. Mercy, mercy, Lord. But I say, but Jesus Christ, this woman, her real belly, you ignore me first of all. When you finally open your mouth, you turn and say, lady, I didn't come to you. When you talk again, after I cry out again, you turn and say, lady, I'm not going to take what I have and give it to the dogs. Oh my God. Oh yeah, I said, but this lady, Jesus Lord, but that would have been a day for me now. Only I go on home and I come dust out myself because I was on the ground kneeling. I would have just dust out myself and find my way home. Home girl said, yes it is. She said, even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table. But that get Jesus' attention. Homegirl did not leave it there now. She tell herself, I'm not leaving here until I get what it is I come for. And I understand you didn't come to me. I understand that what you have it might be too good for me. But if you ain't gonna give me the bread, I'm gonna take the crumbs. You ain't want to give me the slice of bread, I taking the crumbs, but I'm not leaving. Then Jesus said to her, woman, you have great faith. Your faith loud, McGill. Your request is granted. And her daughter was healed at that moment. This is just me making assumptions here. I am assuming that my girl, the fact that she addressed him as Lord, Lord, Son of David, you would have gathered some information on this man that would have tell you when he passed through here, I'm going and check him. And the fact that you went and checked him for your demon-possessed child, you probably found out that he would have delivered other demon-possessed people. And you tell yourself, you know what? Then you could do the same thing for me. My girl probably heard that in chapter 7, somewhere, he told the people, ask, and when you ask, the Father gave good gifts. She probably heard in chapter 8, he healed a man from leprosy. She probably also heard that he healed a centurion servant who was paralyzed. She probably heard somebody probably tell her he healed Peter's mother-in-law from a fever. And probably told her, not only did he do that, many who were demon-possessed were brought to him and he drove all the spirits with a word and healed all the sick. Oh, so you do this before? So she must have known this. Nah, but you do this before, so you could do it for me. She probably heard reports that went out that he delivered 2 demon-possessed men that were among the tombs. So you do this, you do it before with a group. Then you do it with 2 men. In chapter 9 it says that he healed another paralyzed man, raised a dead girl, and healed a sick woman, healed the blind and the mute. Jump to chapter 14. He feeds 5,000. Nah, you capable. You're very capable of dealing with the circumstances and the situation that I am faced with. Because this is what, remember, I said reports went out that this is what he did. So by the time he got to where this woman was, she didn't hear about all that. So this woman now would have heard all that he would have done and comes with her request and was relentless. You do it for them, you can do it for me too. And I'm not letting up until you answer my request. The woman must tell herself, so what happened? So I am not folks too? Am I not a person? Am I not somebody that you can, it can't be that you're doing it for men alone, because you healed Peter's mother from a fever, you raised this one, then I qualified to ask. At least let me ask. And she made her request. Jesus said to the woman, you have great faith. I want to call it loud faith, because the disciples, she was irritating them disciples and them. She was loud. Her faith was so loud that Jesus granted her request. So you may be asking God. Well, I would start off by asking God to increase my faith based on the history, based on these 3 women. Lord, increase my faith, cause me to have loud faith like these women, to pray and to believe that you are able to do the impossible. The woman that we talked about before, that Shunammite woman, she went to put in her request and to make her appeal for her property. The woman didn't even have to get involved, you know. She did not even have to get involved in that court matter, in that court case. Sometimes things just happen. And you feel, no, I have to fix that. I'm going to tell so-and-so, I'm going to talk to my boss, because what they're doing to me is unfair. Or my sister-in-law, or my brother-in-law, or my mother-in-law, or my sister, or my cousin, or the neighbor. And you feel you had to settle the score because somebody do you something. That woman did not even, all she answered was, yes, it's me. I am the woman with the son Elijah brought back to life. She did not even have to get involved in her battle. This lady here recognized you are capable of doing all these things that I've heard of, and you could do the same for me. You could do the exact same thing for me. So you might be in a situation where you need God to help you to cleanse. God, I know I probably get myself into this debt that I'm in here, but I'm asking you for mercy. Mercy, Lord, I'm begging you for mercy. Help me to get out of this situation. Lord, I start this business and it's real slow right now on the verge of closing. But I'm asking you like you did with the woman's son. Breathe life into this business again. Father, I lying down in my salon, I lying down in my office, I lying down on my cake mixer. Or whatever it is you just be using to make your business. Hold on to these spoons, these spatula, whatever it is. Lord, this is the business that you give me. And I'm asking you to breathe life into it again. And I'm believing you, I'm trusting in you that you can do this impossible thing. All these women's lives are marked by miraculous situations for them and their children. Mothers crying out to God on behalf of it. This is a mother crying out for a daughter. They may tell me, nowhere here I read the child present. But this mother is crying out on behalf of her demon-possessed child. Father, Lord Jesus, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on my child. And if you ain't want to come by me to heal me, at least give me the crumbs and I will deal with that. All of them allowed their faith to speak louder than the situations, the circumstances that they were in presently. Their faith was louder than the death of a son. Their faith was louder than the death that they were in. The faith was louder than the fact that their child was sick. Loud faith in the midst of calamity. And I just want to encourage us. You don't know if God just waiting on you to be relentless, to be adamant. God, I trust in you. I am trusting you. I put in my faith, all my faith. It could be as small as a mustard seed. I am putting my faith in you, God. And I am trusting you. As a mother, I'm not giving up. As a business owner, my little can do plenty. And even though I might feel insulted, I'm not going to let insults injure my faith. I am not going to let the bank telling me no, or the credit union telling me no, finance telling me no, island finance telling me no to injure my faith. I'm not going to let a doctor's report injure my faith. Before I close, when I was pregnant with my last daughter, the last 2 months, I believe, you thinking you just, when they start to do the 1 week visit to the clinic, they found that my daughter's kidney was dilated, and the specialists, they assigned us to a specialist in the hospital that called us in and wanted to explain to us what needs to happen, and they will have to take the baby after birth and do surgery. And I sat down there and I just told myself, my husband was there, I just told myself, you go ahead and talk to him, I don't want to hear. And I'm telling you, it's my husband who had to tell me after the fact the things that they were saying, because I just shut off. In fact, the woman said while we were there, I'm telling you, as God is my witness, the woman said when the baby is born, there's a very likely chance that she could born Down syndrome because of this issue with the kidney. So after I deliver, my husband come to check on us and thing. I see he watching the baby face just rails. I was like, what it is you looking for? I could not understand it. He go say, you forget the nurse said that they could born Down syndrome, so I just checking to see. I did not hear a word of that. Coming down to the last 2 weeks, the specialist said, you need to separate the baby's thing in one bag and separate your things into a next bag. Unpack the bag and pack it over, taking all the baby things because we'll have to keep the baby. All yeah? I sat down outside the hospital on the security guard chair, rain drizzling, and I said to myself, Lord, first of all, I did not ask for this. I told you I wanted 2 boys and 1 girl. You gave me that. Exactly that in the specific order. This extra baby here, you sent. And I said to myself, Lord, you had to fix this, you know. I got up, all your tears in my eye, people seeing me, they can't tell if it's the rain that wet in my face or if it's the tears that falling. And I walked through the hospital yard and I just said, Lord, you in control and you are going to fix this situation. I cannot fix this. and them feel them no better than you. And I remember praying every evening. I would come home in the night, rub my belly and pray over my baby and trust God for healing. When the child born, they say, oh, we need to take the test. So they tell me to unpack the bag and thing it. I don't know, I think I must get on like this Canaanite woman here. And the woman, they tell me, unpack the bag. When I unpack the bag, I said, no, you know what? I not unpacking no bag, no baby not separating from me, and I coming home with this child. I pack back everything back in the bag. I said, one bag, nothing not separating. And I just said, Lord, I am doing this and trusting you. So when they reach baby born, they have to do tests, they have to take blood, whatever. They come, they say you have to come and do an ultrasound on the baby. When the report came and they opened the letter, the report said everything normal, kidney normal. But all I know, I just started to make noise. I ball out who was by at the side of my car. What I hear, I just ball out, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. And I could not be bothered. I did not care. And I just said, Lord, thank you for doing this miraculous thing that doctors thought they would have had to fix. I just want to encourage us that despite how doctors may have told you things, they may have said this or they may have said that. The bank probably would have told you you're not liable for another loan. This one may have told you that if you don't make these payments, we will come and repossess this, that, or the other. Talk to God and let your faith speak louder than your situation. Let your faith speak louder than the circumstance, speak louder than the winds that probably both beating up against your boat, and allow your faith to speak loudly. And also remember how you use your words. All is well. Everything is all right. Whatever the situation is. Lay a hand on your head, lay a hand on your back, whatever the situation is. It could be a womb situation, a money situation, a business situation, a situation with your children. You want them to be saved. They used to serve the Lord and now they're not. You pray continuously and you believe you are praying and trusting God until He tell you no. God, my faith and my prayer will only change when you say no. So if He tell you no, keep going. Keep trusting, keep having faith, keep believing. So I just want to encourage us. These women had no names. We don't know what their names are. We don't know who they are. We just know of them. And I just want to encourage us. Allow your life to be the testimony for somebody to say, you see Melissa faith boy, you see Sandy faith boy, you see Miss Olet faith boy, you see Carlos faith boy, you see that woman determination, you know how relentless that woman is. I know this lady. Let that speak so loud that 18 years from now, it is a testimony that would encourage somebody to keep going, to keep trusting, and to keep believing. Have a pleasant evening, everyone. And I trust that something would have been a blessing and an encouragement to all of us.
Bless the Lord. What a word. What a word. Bless the Lord. I am so blessed, and I hope every one of you are blessed tonight by this word. So you get to realize who are the unsung heroines. You could be one. Your sister could be one in the church. But we need to start to recognize them. We need to understand. So the first woman is a widow, but she is an unsung heroine because she stands in the midst and no one doesn't take her children away from her. You understand? The next one, married, no children. Good, she business fixed. She ain't want nothing. But because of her service unto God, because of her generosity, God bless her. You understand? And He tests her faith. Because after blessing her, the child come and die. But then what will she do? You know, He blessed Abraham with Isaac, and what happened? And he has to test his faith. So where's this woman standing and proving herself? We have to be these heroes. Amen? And the last one, she could be a single mother. You don't know. We have them among us. We have each and every one. Sometimes we may not fit the status quo. They're quick to ask you when they see you, hey, how you going? You married? You had children? And when you don't fit that criteria, it's like they belittle you. It's like they put you aside. They see less of you.
Like I said, I trust that it was a blessing to you all. Have a fantastic week. Again, like I said, share, use it as an opportunity to encourage somebody that may need to hear this word. And I pray that it was and is and will continue to be a blessing to you. Have a great week. Sanitize, social distance, wear your mask. If you know you're feeling sick, stay home. If somebody in your house sick, stay home. If you were anywhere and people were not wearing their mask, please wear yours. Let's continue to keep ourselves safe and to keep each other safe. And have a great week, guys. Blessings.